still in my last few months have a lot of work to do. We've got a budget and spending review to pass, and of course then right into the election. I'll be playing my part, even though I'm not standing. I'll be campaigning for our fantastic local candidates. But yeah, it's been quite a journey when I think about the development of the Parliament over those years, and what a difference it made when we came into government in 2007 and what we've been able to achieve. I've played a part in that, but it's been very much a team effort. When we came in, we raised the ambition for Scotland and for what we deliver for public services, and of course since then, one of the biggest achievements is the delivery of the Scottish Child Payment, which is directly leading to Scotland being the only part of the UK where child poverty rates are falling compared to rising everywhere else in these islands. And it just shows you with the powers that we've used under devolution, we've used them to the max, but there is a max and there is a limit of what we can do under devolution. We've tried to mitigate many of the Westminster policies, but of course that has required us to spend money in those areas with a very, very limited budget, which just makes the case for independence. And we can show what we've done with those limited powers. Imagine what more we could do with the full powers of independence, particularly in areas like the economy, social security. So there's what's called a fiscal framework. It essentially sets out the arrangements, but the vast bulk of our money still flows from Westminster decisions. So for example, if the Westminster government decides to spend more money on areas that are devolved, like education or housing, then we get more benefit. If, however, they reduce those areas of spend and spend more on areas like defence or other areas that are completely reserved, then our money can be suppressed and reduced from those devolved areas. So we're very susceptible to the decisions, the spending decisions of Westminster. We obviously have more income-raising powers than we did when the Parliament was established in 1999, and we have what's called the block grant adjustment, where the income tax is then offset against the spending and the flow of funds from Westminster. So there is an adjustment through the fiscal framework, which means that we keep a great deal of the income tax that we raise, but it's adjusted depending on, for example, the forecast of the OBR compared to the forecast for Scotland. So if there is higher economic growth south of the border, which of course is driven by London and the South East, then there's an adjustment that can be a negative adjustment for Scotland if our economy grows at a slower pace or our population grows at a slower pace. So it's a very complicated system through the fiscal framework. We want it reviewed because we don't think it benefits us in the way that it should. We don't have the flexibilities that we want. So for example, we can only borrow to cover things like that negative tax reconciliation. I can't borrow to meet headwinds of a global pandemic, for example. So it's very, very restricted, and we need to, for example, have a major investment in our infrastructure, but we have capital borrowing limits. So yes, there's been improvements in our fiscal position from 1999 in terms of more powers, but they're still very constrained by the decisions made by Westminster, which is why, of course, it makes the case for independence to have all of those.